A lot of the claims people made about Charlie Kirk, things he said about the civil rights movement, Martin Luther King, a lot of those points, we say he's a racist for saying that. A lot of prominent black activists and intellectuals have said the same thing about Martin Luther King, about the civil rights movement. My point is it doesn't make him right. It doesn't make him wrong. I'm just saying that doesn't automatically make you racist. That's why you see Malcolm X saying it. You've seen a black producer right now did a whole documentary about Martin Luther King that came out recently. My point is just, people have been saying this about these different movements and civil rights legislation for a long time within the black intellectual community. So he's not racist for echoing the same things that they said.
Malcolm, the Civil Rights Bill is with us now. What will it mean?
Well, I'm not very excited at all over the Civil Rights Bill, primarily because it's a law, and the Supreme Court desegregation decision was also a law that was handed down by the highest court in the land 10 years ago, and they haven't been able to implement it even here in New York City or any other city in the North, much less try and implement it in the South. And if they can't implement this single law that was handed down by the highest court in the land, I'm very doubtful that they'll be able to enforce any of the laws that are now on the books in this recently passed civil rights legislation.
You don't think it's even a step then?
No, I don't think it's any step. The Constitution of the United States automatically is supposed to be sufficient to protect anybody who's born here who's a citizen. And if the Constitution includes all of those who are born here, I don't see why additional legislation is needed when it comes to the rights of the Negro. If the Polish people and the Hungarians and the Russians and others who come here as refugees don't need civil rights legislation in order to be recognized as citizens, why, it's a farce to make Negroes think that civil rights legislation is needed to get us recognition as citizens.
Well, what would you suggest be done then to let a Negro go wherever he wants to in the South and get all the other benefits that the bill provides him?
You can't do anything by legislation. It takes education. The white man in this country needs to be re-educated so that his behavior pattern toward non-whites will change, and the black man in this country also needs to be re-educated so our behavior pattern and attitude toward ourselves will change. And once a little educating is done on both sides, you'll probably find that that in itself will do more to bring about the spirit of brotherhood than all of the legislation that's designed to force the two together. You can't legislate brotherhood. That brotherhood comes about through understanding, and understanding is created through education.
Now, Malcolm, on one side you're talking about brotherhood and education, and on the other side you're talking about guerrilla movements in the South. Where do you stand?
Both of them are educational. We demand our right to have access to equality of opportunity to anything that this country stands for, as long as we're born here and come within the confines of the Constitution that governs this country. Now, in line with that, we feel that we have the right to defend ourselves whenever we take measures to participate as citizens, and unlawful elements like the Ku Klux Klan get in our way. We think the two positions are consistent. In fact, one complements the other.
If you had the opportunity, you would get rid of the Civil Rights Act?
No, I think you should have a one-page bill that says that racial discrimination based on race is illegal and will not be tolerated in the United States of America. Most black Americans don't support is men and female sports. Would you agree?
Hell no.
Yeah, I know. No, for sure, right? Believe it or not, the Civil Rights Act is now being used to keep men playing in women's sports. So the Civil Rights Act was used to help black America originally. Totally get that. But now the way it was written is that any claim of identification, so someone says, I'm a woman, therefore I can compete in your volleyball team, they come in with a civil rights claim. And so what we're saying is, no, it should be specified to racial, not gender, all that other stuff. And there were all these other provisions as well.
You would like...
Malcolm, the civil...
All right, fellas. Victor, you want to go ahead? That was the Victor. Victor wanted the cup. Oh, that was Victor.
Yeah. Hey, look, man. We're an hour into this discussion, and I'm gonna say this: I need to cook. I don't need nobody interrupting me. I need y'all to be quiet. The only reason that we are in this discussion is because our entire culture is too sensitive. We don't don't like to hear what we show. And we wouldn't accept the same behavior from our own children if we had them, or whether or not we got them or not. I'm not saying that people should have better delivery of their opinions, but don't we all? This man was 31 years old, and he had his own individual experiences that shaped his opinion. Of course, he can't speak on every single thing to the depth and brevity that it goes with. Most of us can't even address people in our own families and tell them that they fucking up. You know what I'm saying? My bad on language, but I had to say it. The depth of this topic has been revealed by yet another major television media hogging incident where the white savior complex is always going to be part of this discussion as well. You know what I'm saying? The deeper it goes. But how would we feel if people used Nipsey Hussle as a talking point? I bring it up because we've had that discussion before. You know, there's some people that feel about Nipsey Hussle the same way they feel about Charlie Kirk. Some people that feel about Tupac. The comparisons is what I'm talking about. I don't want to get into, you know, like one was political and one wasn't or whatever. You know, we're just talking about the level of influence and the sensitivity around the topic. We have got to get out of our feelings if we want to move forward. The feelings only keep you in the past. And we have to be honest if we want a solution or do we want to just have something to talk about.
All right. So let's get Vulcan, because the original question, y'all was both on agreement as far as Charlie Kirk not displaying any racism. We played the videos Victor played a video to this topic. Anything you want to add, Vulcan, or question you want to ask the panel before we move it around?
I guess I'll take a moment to say this point, especially since that video was played. Mine's going to be like 30 seconds or less to say this. Mm-hmm. But a lot of the claims people made about Charlie Kirk, things he said about the civil rights movement, Martin Luther King, a lot of those points, we say he's a racist for saying that. A lot of prominent black activists and intellectuals have said the same thing about Martin Luther King, about the civil rights movement. My point is it doesn't make him right. It doesn't make him wrong. I'm just saying that doesn't automatically make you racist. That's why you see Malcolm X saying it. You've seen a black producer right now did a whole documentary about Martin Luther King that came out recently. My point is just, and people have been saying this about these different movements and civil rights legislation for a long time within the black intellectual community. So he's not racist for echoing the same things that they said.
All right, so I just want to get, because Victor and Vulcan's on the same page. Before you Frank, just express your disagreement. I just want to hear the disagreements of what Vulcan just said. Go ahead, Frank.
Yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say, the reason why he's a racist is because, I mean, even though you're saying all this stuff, Vulcan, black people have been active in trying to fix these things. You gentlemen are acting as though black people haven't been doing anything about their situation and condition. They've been doing stuff. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that.
Frank, we just got to focus on the disagreement.
I just want to say, Frank, I do agree with you. So I have no contention. I have no contention with you, Frank. Whatever you're saying right now, I have no contention with you about that. I agree with you about that. Blacks have been doing things for a long time. Go ahead.
Right. I'm saying that we've been doing things. We have been working tirelessly to do stuff, and the black people that are making comments about what's going on were usually people that were in the active, that were actually doing work. Meaning, like I'm saying, black people speaking about black people and critiquing the movement makes sense because there are people that want to do good for black people.
That's
people
a logical fallacy. You can't pick and choose who gets to say what based off who's saying it. If somebody says 2 + 2 is 4, somebody critiques somebody.
Yes. Okay. Sorry, let me finish the thought.
Let him finish. Explain your point to genetic fallacy.
It's going to be short real quick, Frank. I want you to finish what you're saying. I'm just saying that if you're implying in any kind of way that because blacks are doing the work, it's okay for them to critique, and Kirk's not allowed because he's not doing the work. I'm saying that's a fallacious way of reasoning. You don't have to do the work to critique. Critique is open to everybody, regardless of your race or the work you or are not doing, because blacks disqualify other blacks' work all the time. Dr. Umar disqualifies Tariq Nasheed. Dr. Tariq Nasheed disqualifies Boyce Watkins. We see it all the time. Go ahead, Frank.
Okay, what I'm saying is not what you're saying. I'm not saying people can't do anything. People can do whatever they want. I'm not saying people can't do it. I'm saying that black people working and making criticism about the situation and the black experience is different than somebody not in the community making criticism. What I'm trying to say is that you have how easily if you're talking to, I'm not speaking by generally speaking, I'm generally speaking here as an example. If you have a child and you say, hey, to your own child, hey, you need to do this and do that, it's different than somebody coming in and telling you how you should raise your child.
Why is
for some people, no, for some people, for me, it's not a difference. For me, it's not. For you, it is.
Okay, let's say it like this. Okay,
why is that difference for you, Vulcan? Why is it that
I want to get into why, because I want Frank to be able to finish his point, but I don't want him. I want to address every point as he says it, because I want the audience to see both sides.
Yeah, let me go. Okay, yes. So let me say it like this. So you not to be a contrarian to everything. There are both sides to everything. There are two sides to everything. There's pretty much an opposite to everything. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that to speak into this about what's going on, the critiques that Charlie Kirk made, and what we're saying about Charlie Kirk is that Charlie Kirk, not being from the community, comes in and makes statements that are not true, that are not true. And then we do it so with civil rights, because we just talked about civil rights. What I mean by that,
can you pull them up?
We already talked about it. I'll speak about what we just heard on the video.
Can we pull up a video of Charlie Kirk saying something that's not true? It should be I'm
about to go to it. I'm about to say it. We just pulled it up. We just watched the video. The video said Charlie Kirk said they're now using the civil rights to get transgender to they're supplementing that to be. Let me say it. Sorry, I'm thinking as I'm talking. What I'm saying is that Charlie Kirk is saying the reason why we should change the Civil Rights and don't have the Civil Rights Act is because they're using that for transgender. That is not correct. That is not true. There is no civil rights case, and the civil rights case is used because, like Malcolm X just said in a previous video, you can't legislate morality. So we know that you can't legislate morality, but you can send somebody to jail if they hit you in the head or hang you on a noose. So that's what the Civil Rights Act was for. Like Malcolm X said, the laws did not stop anyone from doing anything to us.
Real quickly,
right? And so the law needed to be continued.
Frank, sorry, Frank, can you hear me?
I muted. Go ahead. He can hear you.
Oh yeah, Frank.
Yes, it's only one.
Yeah, Frank. I think it's proven, and I think it's a quick Google search will show that the Civil Rights Bill has been used for transgender rights. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that that's technically
what's happening. Read that. Read it. If you said it, pull it up. Read it. If you just made that statement on the live telling me what I was saying wrong.
You want me to read? Okay, yes, sir.
Yes, please. Read it. Don't make claims that aren't true.
No. I'm with you 100%. I just want to make sure we do this the right way on the format. Enos, you want to pull it up on the screen? You want me to just read it? I try to do things in decency and in order.
I'll pull it up.
Okay, so he's pulling it up.
Just read it. Just read it, because I don't have it.
Okay. So I'm using Facebook's AI right here, and I typed in, has the Civil Rights Bill been used for trans rights? And this is what it says. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 has been interpreted to protect transgender individuals from discrimination. A key example is the Supreme Court case R.G. and G.R. Harris Funeral Homes, Inc. versus Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, which determined that title of the Civil Rights Act covers gender identity, including transgender status. This ruling has implications for employment, education, healthcare.
All right.
Okay. So what you just read. No, I'm about to address it. What I'm trying to say, and you understand what I'm saying clearly. What you just read is that they're using something that was for black people to help us. Somebody else has an issue and goes and use that issue to say that, hey, the Civil Rights Act that was supposed to protect black people that he used, that's applying to me. You track what I'm saying? That has been done by everyone. That's been done by women. That's been done by
But
white people in versus.
the judge did it, Frank. The issue is the judge did it.
It's not what the judge said. They just said that it's been interpreted, meaning that the judge meaning that the law did not change. Civil Rights Act is standalone. Is not written for transgender people. People can go use the law and interpret the law and say, hey, this law that was written on this previous case is applicable to me. That's how all case law works. Does that make sense? That's how all case law works, meaning that you refer to something previous to go forward. And I hate when I get cute, because
well, Frank,
that's what I'm trying to say. And I'm saying his point is wrong, meaning that that's what I'm trying to say. That what he's saying is that what he's saying is that the law itself is obsolete now. Okay, maybe because he's dead now, so he can't go back and refute this and clear this up. But way I'm interpreting what he's saying is that the law is obsolete, is no longer needed anymore. The Civil Rights Act is no longer needed anymore because transgender people are now using it to get their rights.
Okay, now can I say my interpretation? Can I give my interpretation real quick? And I'll try to be just as concise as you are. What I'm hearing is he wants to educate the public that civil rights legislation is now being used for transgender rights, because most people aren't aware of that. That's what I took from what he was saying.
And what I'm saying, and you're correct, you're right. He's bringing it aware. But Franco's saying the fallacy is that everybody's been doing that's been done before. It's been done with everyone. You can go use that same Google AI search and say, how often has non-black people used the Civil Rights Act to benefit them or get them case law? And that'll be a myriad of comments of doing that, because that's what they use, meaning that the same thing that Malcolm X said, the Constitution should be enough. The Constitution should be enough. But unfortunately, there are people in power and position that abuse that power and position, and so they need a recourse, and they use the law. And because the Civil Rights Act produced things like equal opportunity and other little subcultural things under there, that's how transgender and all those things fall under it. Because
I think we're all on the same page.
And also, transgender couldn't have been thought of at the time because there's no transgender when the.
You said, well, do you think we're all on the same page?
Well, yeah. Well, so Frank, I just want to make sure Frank understands is that Frank, we're all on the same page with the rest of what you're saying. We can move on with the conversation. I think the power on both sides, and I agree with a lot of what you said.
And I just want to put a chair on top. And I'm saying he's doing it intentionally because he's a racist.
Okay.
Well, hold on. Well, okay, yeah.
I got a video for you.